Welcome to Aging Untold. When it comes to taking care of our parents in their senior years, is there such a thing as good kids, bad kids? Are the children who take on all the caregiving responsibilities the good kids? And what about the ones who don't? Does that make them bad kids? It's more nuanced than you might think, and that's why today we're busting through the stereotype to find out. Sam, you're a resident bad kid. Why don't you lead us off?
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm just
I was
kidding.
the good kid. Just ask my sibling. Don't ask my siblings. I don't necessarily like that we're pigeonholing our children into good and bad. I think some of us have different skill sets and some of us have different faculties where maybe some people are just able to emotionally handle the caregiving responsibilities and seeing that decline and some aren't. Don't get me wrong, I've seen plenty of bad kids, but I've seen plenty of what we think are the good kids doing what we think is the right thing, but they're there for the wrong reason. And they're there to control and to isolate the others. So I don't think we on the outside can always see who's the good and who's the bad.
What is our definition of a good kid?
Right.
Bad kid. Because maybe it's the logistics, and it doesn't mean that just because they're not there, they're not good.
So maybe they don't have the luxury that I had, and I was able to travel and fly in 1 week a month. Most people can't do that. Most
Right.
people don't have a job that allows for that. And so are they the bad kid because they live thousands of miles away and they're not upending their entire life to go take care of their parent?
What I really meant when I kind of came up with good kids, bad kids was I wanted to say to good kids, we see you, we see what you're doing, and also kind of tip you off that when you're so respectful and so reserved and you don't want to step in and kind of cross the line or take away any autonomy, could you be waiting too long to address something? Because sometimes good kids miss things because they're trying to just...
They're trying to please and placate.
So you've got to be brave and get leverage, ask questions, be curious, and have the bold, candid conversations.
I think it's a balance. Kind of for them, they have to balance all those different things.
I hear it a lot. I can't get my sister to help. I can't get my brother to help. I'm the one that's doing it all. I can't be with my family because I'm taking care of mom or dad or whatever. And I don't know why they're not stepping into that role. Maybe it's emotionally they can't. Maybe it's a resentment. Maybe it's a past issue. Maybe it's just their own self is stepping in the way. And they, you hear, well, I don't want to see my mom like that. I don't want to see my dad like that. But for the ones that are there that are working and doing, you're getting something that no one else can take away from you ever. And don't lose your sibling because of that.
Mm-hmm. You can see it on them when the person dies and someone's really been there and they are completely resolved and okay, and it's pure grief. And then the ones that were too afraid or didn't step in, you have a totally different kind of grief. And it's, honestly, I think it's more complicated to navigate.
The other thing I really wanted to talk about with good kids and bad kids is that there's some bad kids out there that we kind of aren't judging because we see the manipulation and the terrible things that they're doing. It is really awful. And I think, a lot of money.
Oh, a lot of
money, control. There's a lot of kids that will say, oh, mom's getting older, so I have to move in and take care of her. Oh, yeah, sure you do. Some of them are really caregiving, and that's legit, but some of them are just getting a free ride and free groceries.
And I'm not opposed to, if you're truly caregiving, getting that free ride and free groceries, because if you're giving up to take care of your loved one, and how do you support your own home and in your own? So I see that, but I also see the POAs that are like, well, it's okay if I put a down payment on my truck. I saw it. It happened in our community. We had a grandson who took his grandmother's account and just used it for his own. And I was involved in that APS case. She no longer had the money to live on. She couldn't pay for her care.
What's POA for the audience?
Power of attorney.
And what's APS?
Adult Protective Services. Yeah, so thank you.
Get a little caught up in the lingo.
Yeah, we get caught up in our own lingo. So, not always are our intentions bad. And I don't think, in that case for sure, I know that grandson did not plan to break his grandmother. He didn't.
Well, and you also have the factor of the older person wanting to help. And then it just gets so blurry, they don't know when to stop, and then they can't stop, and then they can't have the conversation with them because they don't want to lose them, because who's going to take care of me if it's not them?
I can tell you time and time again, kids or grandkids moving in and even having a relationship, getting married, having children, like never move. And like all grandma wants is for once in her life to have her house to herself, and they never leave.
I think
And
the key is to start early, talk to the people in your world, set things up ahead of time, and keep checking it. And I'm talking to the older person. The older person, it's your funds. Be careful with who you designate to be involved. But designate someone.
I've seen it also too many times where we give the keys to the kingdom to the least responsible, because as a parent, we still want to take care of them. So all of a sudden, you've got this really responsible child over here who's made their way, they're financially stable, but you're going to give it to the kid over here that's lost 2 homes, that hasn't kept a job. And so you're giving them the power of attorney rights, and you're giving them the control because you as a parent want to take care of your child. And
you're hoping they're going to do the right
You're hoping they're going to do the right thing by you. And those patterns and those behaviors aren't going to change.
But then we get back to, if that's what they want to do, why shouldn't they?
Totally.
I'll tell you why they shouldn't, is because they can put themselves in a very vulnerable position when they're fragile. So while you're healthy, while you still have your wits about you, you've got to think about this plan. And no plan is a plan. It's a really bad plan. So you've got to really think this through. And what kind of professionals could also be part of your team? Because if you have a care manager, a physician, the person that runs the home care agency, the gerontologist, your financial planner, your attorney that really know you, people that can step in and try to help when things aren't going well.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well said.
Get the right team.
Put your team together.
Yes.
And we want to be a part of your team too. And we'll be right back on Aging Untold.